Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Expert Suck Sports Betting Podcast. I am Mike Day, and I am joined by Brad Thurman.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Brad. Yeah, January 1st, early morning. Hopefully, we'll wake up some viewers to a nice podcast here. And
Yeah.
after maybe a late night, not necessarily for me and you, but
Oh,
we
no,
talked about it.
we're at that age where staying up till after midnight or 2 a.m. and drinking heavily. It's like, no, I'm good. I'm
Yeah.
good.
Tell the folks how you guys did it with like the East Coast thing.
Yeah, it's just a beautiful way to do it. Even though we're in Colorado, 2 hours, behind New York. That's when we celebrated. We celebrated at 10 p.m. So that's the way to do it. The
That
old
is
person's way to do it.
That is smart. Yeah, that is like the 50-plus-year-old way to do it. Do it
Yeah,
two time zones earlier and call it good.
call it good. Home by 11, in bed before it strikes midnight here in Colorado, and it's like it's perfect. So
Yeah,
today was
exactly.
not a difficult day to wake up early and do the podcast. So holy cow, last week.
Yeah. Yeah, last week, let's jump in. We are, for those of you joining us the first time, we are the Expert Suck Sports Betting Podcast. Brad and I do football picks, college and pro. We're in a contest where we have to pick 6 games against the spread. And what we did last year, this is season 2 of this, is we created a criteria where at a minimum of 65% of the experts have to be on a certain team in a game, and then 75 experts or more have to be picking within that game to qualify for our pick slate. And then from that pick slate, we do 6 games opposite of what the experts are picking. Um, yeah, and season 2, like I just mentioned, and yeah, it's the final week. We do the full 18-week season of the NFL. That's what the contest follows. And oh boy, Brad and I are kind of going through it right now.
We are, as you said right before we went live. You're like, this is like Game 7 stuff, and I have been anxious all week. I think I've mentioned, over the last couple of weeks how well we're doing, and going into this week, we are tied for second. So, there's a weekly payout every week. If you get the 6-0, but there's a year-end payout as well for the top 8, and we have a real good opportunity to make the top 8. Really good, but we need to perform one
Yes,
more
yeah, I
time.
mean, yeah, and just to kind of reiterate that, you know, not every game on the NFL slate and the college slate qualify under our criteria. So we usually have a very much shorter slate to pick from than
Yeah.
everybody else, than the experts get to pick as well. So for this week 18, which is always more difficult in the NFL because of the way sometimes teams are notorious for sitting players when they're not, they're either not in the playoffs or they're already secured like the number 1 seed or the number 2 seed, and they can't improve their seed for the playoffs, so they're resting players. LA Rams are notorious for that. Uh, yeah, so it makes it more difficult for us in week 18. It's not our favorite week of the year, but like Brad said, we are so close to um, finishing up there in the top 8 on this contest that, we really, really had to crack down and pay attention to this week's picks.
Well, and I sent you a picture of all of the mathing that I was doing earlier this week when I was like looking at people in the top 20, and seeing what the scenarios were that we needed to do. And the more I dug into it, I texted you saying we actually have harmed ourselves because of how consistent and how good we've done. And what I mean by that is they drop the worst 3 weeks. Well, our worst week has been 2-4, and we've only had one of those weeks. Everything else has been 3-3 or better. And then when you look at some people behind us that are trying to catch us, they've had plenty of 0-6s, 1-5s, 2-4s. So this last week, They just need to be better than like a 2-4, and then they're going to start building up those games and catching us.
Yeah,
Really,
because they're 3 drop changes.
yeah. And so ours, we can be 0-6, and we're still going to have 59 wins for the year.
Right.
But in order to get better than 59 wins, we have to be 4-2 or better this week. So having us do this good has actually hurt us in this last week because we can't really improve our standing, but other people this weekend are going to be catching up to us. That's where I think my anxiety is coming from. Is as we know, it's tough in this last week to be 4-2, 5-1, 6-0. So I am really nervous that we're just going to get. uh, we've been saying it all year. We're going to get backdoor covered. Is my biggest fear.
Yeah. Yeah, that whole drop 3 thing is kind of a blessing and a curse because it helps those that have had just really bad, like you said, 0-6, 1-5 weeks. But those of us that have been consistent, like you said, and have no less than like a 2-4 or a 3-3, it kind of hurts that group of people that are have more consistency.
Yeah,
So, like I said, I mean, it is what it is. We know the contest rules going in,
yeah,
so we know that they're going to do that drop 3. So it's kind of on us to uh, have a good week and get it. And you know, like I texted you before we came on. There's been so many weeks of these 18 weeks that we've said, "Oh man, I don't feel good about any of these picks," and then they kind of come through. So let's just kind of we'll throw them out there, our picks, and not
yeah.
feel good about them, and then we'll watch the games and see
Well,
if they come through.
and I told you this as well, but I had a brief moment of let's go for the payday, and let's say screw the experts suck pool that we have to pull from. Let's just pick
The
our game.
criteria,
Let's screw the criteria and go for like trying to win this thing. And then I thought Mike and I have really not been great this year, just picking from the full slate. So that has bad karma written all over it. I'm like, we can't go against
right? We got to
our.
we got to stick to the formula,
We
and
got to
you'll
stick.
see when we show our head to head picks how bad we kind of are, and yeah, so we're gonna stick to it.
Yeah,
And what we do on the show is we'll review last week's picks, the week 17 games, and then we'll get into this final weekend, week 18 games. And it starts today. So, yeah. So let's go. I'm going to transition.
yeah. Let's do it.
Those of
Uh,
you on Spotify, you will not see these slides. If you're joining us on YouTube, you get to see the cool slides that I put up showing last week's picks, our stats, and then this week's picks. So apologies to the Spotify listeners, but you're used to it by now. And yeah, so okay, one thing when we get to I'll mention it when we get there, Brad, but I put this coming week's picks in chronological order. So
okay,
yeah,
perfect.
so everybody can sweat along with us. But last
Well,
week, here we go. Well,
yeah.
tell the people how we did last week.
So last week was what we were aiming for was just 3-3 or better, and we hit 3-3. Um, a couple. There was, I think, a couple of these where, well, no, the ones that we lost, we just lost just outright. So,
Yeah.
so like this first one, 66% of the experts were on Northwestern versus Central Michigan. Central Michigan was a 10.5 point underdog. Final score was 34-7. I didn't watch one bit of this, but I think this is the one when you said there was a running back or something that needs to be investigated. Wasn't there like 7 fumbles that they had in this game?
Yeah.
Like
I think
just
it was a quarterback. They had 7 fumble. So, here's the other thing with Central Michigan. Their whole season and they didn't have any opt-outs. They didn't lose a lot of players or anything like that, especially at the skill positions. Their turnover margin was +8 this season. So that was part of my kind of handicap for this
yeah,
game.
yeah,
Plus them getting 10.5 points. And they had 7 fumbles, 3 turnovers. One of those fumbles was a scoop and score for a touchdown.
yeah.
So
Well,
just ridiculous, like
I,
how
I,
that can
yeah,
happen.
and I was out and about, and I'm like, oh yeah, the game's going on. So I checked and it was like mid second quarter, and it was 0-0. I'm like, this is good. This is
Yeah,
good for a double digit, underdog, keeping Northwestern like scoreless. This is exactly what we want. And like 2 minutes later, I look again. It was like 14-0. I'm like, what the hell just happened?
it was the fumble. Yeah, then
Yeah.
the started in the second quarter, and every fumble, it felt like that they lost was deep in their own
Yes.
in their own end. So short field for Northwestern, you can't do that because they're a pretty decent offense, as they showed.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was a bummer. That was not great, and it was the first game on the slate again. And even this week review, I'm doing chronological order, just so you know. So, we've always said we hate to be 0-1 on the first game,
Yeah.
but yeah, we knew this one. This one was an easy handicap. But
Yes.
68% of the experts were on UConn against Army. Army was a 9.5 point favorite, so Army minus 9.5. Final score was 41-16 Army. Yeah, UConn kind of stayed with them early. They scored early,
I
but
think
then
they
Army,
scored first. I think
yeah,
they
they
scored.
scored first. But then Army just put it on them with their running game. That UConn had no answer for that triple option that Army does, and they just ran wild. There was a
Yeah.
couple like long touchdowns. So, yeah,
Yeah,
like I
I
said,
was,
it was
I
easy.
was watching part of this one, and again, you're right. It was just with the opt outs from UConn, and this is why we handicapped this one the way we did with all the opt outs, and Army is not going to have any, and they're coming to win, and boy did they! So it was that was a fun one after being 0-1 to say, okay, let's get an easy victory here, and we did.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, this one,
This
this
was
one,
crazy.
this one, I don't know what the heck happened. I was at another event on last Saturday night when this game was going on. Sorry for those that don't even know which game it is. So, 66% of the experts were on North Texas playing San Diego State. San Diego State was a 5.5 point underdog. Yeah, at one point, I just looked at my phone just to see, and I was like, ah, man, North Texas, they're up double digits. They were in the 40s or 30s at that point. I'm like, clearly San Diego State's defense that we were touting can't stop them, even with all of the people that they were missing. And then you were at this event as well, and you were leaving, and you said, we're 2-1. I'm like, how the hell are we 2-1? What happened? So the final score, North Texas ended up winning 49-47, but they covered. So again, like no defenses were being played that day, but luckily for us, San Diego State found some offense and was able to come back. Again, I don't know how late they scored, but I'm glad they covered.
Yeah, it was insane. So we were kind of watching it. There's several of us, and we had all of our phones out, and it was crazy. So San Diego State comes all the way back, and we're not sure. Like the cover was still in doubt until their final drive with like a minute left, and we've always talked about, do the coaches really know the spread?
Yeah,
And this is a case where I think the coach knew the spread for some reason, because they drove and drove and drove, and they got down to the goal line, third and goal with like 7 seconds left. They go for it. They don't get it. Somehow there's a stoppage in play with 1 second left, fourth and inches. And talk about a meaningless touchdown. The quarterback snaps it and reaches over with the ball, the goal line. So again, it was reviewed and they called it a touchdown. So they scored and backdoor covered with 1 second left. So yeah, I mean, again, sometimes we get the bad end of that, but sometimes we get the good end. And it was crazy. A meaningless touchdown. Like it made no difference because they
right.
can't win the game, right?
Win
But
it.
they could cover the spread. So good job, coach. I don't even know who the coach is for San Diego State, but good job on him
Well, yeah. Luckily for us, we got that win.
to give us that 2-1.
Yeah.
Yeah. So all right. So the third win, Brad mentioned we were 3-3. Third win, 66% of the experts are on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the Miami Dolphins. Miami was a home underdog, so they were getting 5.5 points. The final score was 20-17 Miami. Yeah, I mean, great that they covered and won outright. Back and forth game. Yeah, we kind of knew early in the fourth quarter that it felt pretty safe when
Yeah.
Miami went up 20-10 with, so they went up by 15 and a half at that point. So yeah, we were not great or not really positive on this one, but it was a good call.
Yeah. Again, I think we called this one just because of Tampa's defense hasn't been great and they haven't been playing great, and they continued that. And Miami is at home, and that was really our biggest two reasons, and both of those came true. So,
Yeah, we
uh,
like home underdogs.
yeah, yes,
So yeah, so that was the third win. Now the other two are going to be red, but
yeah,
oh
and
boy, oh
yeah, and
boy,
these are just going to be these were not even close.
disappointments.
Yeah. So 76%, I believe this was our highest percentage game that we had to pick this week. And this was the Patriots going to the Jets. Jets were a 13.5 point underdog, and that spread was a little too low.
Yeah,
So the final score, Patriots 42-10, and it could have been even worse than that. Um, yeah, this one we had a lot of hope for. Just again, home underdog, 2 touchdowns. It's a lot. New England just coming off a big win. Yeah, they just stuck it to them. End of the first quarter, it's already 14-0. I First part of the second quarter, it's 21. I'm like, this is
yeah,
where
it's out of control. Yeah,
there's no way they're coming back at all.
yeah. New England's one of those teams that is still playing for the one seed,
Yeah,
so they have a meaningful game this week. Denver has a meaningful game this week. Um, Jacksonville has a meaningful game this week. So I like it that there's not too many games in the NFL this week that people are, they're sitting. There's still a lot to play for on both sides. So yeah, I mean, what else were we going to do? This was our sixth game
it was the sixth game.
that
We
we
weren't
decided on.
Yeah, we weren't thrilled about it. It's the Jets, but we thought, okay, let's just. It's as we've said, 2 touchdowns in the NFL is really difficult, but the Jets proved that it really wasn't that difficult.
Yeah. And then this last one, 68% of the experts were on Georgia Southern against App State in their bowl game. App State was a 7-point underdog. So App State Mountaineers +7. Final score was 29-10 Georgia Southern. And we talked about this before it
Yeah,
even started. We needed this game to really kind of secure our spot in the top 3 of our contest. And App State just crapped the bed. I mean, they weren't even really close
no,
to covering. Uh, yeah, so very disappointment. Like
yeah,
we had hope, and then that game started, and Georgia Southern scored like right away, and it's just like, oh no, this is
yeah.
not good for us.
This is not good, and you're right. This was the game
Hmm.
that would have made me feel so much more secure in getting the top 8 this year. If we would have got this victory, that would have put us at 60 wins for the year, and we couldn't have gone below that. And with people behind us, they would have had a lot more 4-2s, 5-1, 6-0s this week to catch us. But we just brought the people behind us into the fold by not winning this game. So yeah, again, this is where that game is what caused all of my anxiety this week.
Yeah, we'll get there. Yeah, we'll get there. So the next slide we do is our year to date super cool stats, um, and we cover our wins. So look, this is just incredible. This is still beyond our wildest dreams.
Yeah, I mean, what was it, 6 weeks ago or something like that? Right around there, we're like, we can't do worse than 500, and that's kind of where we were. Like, okay, that's kind of a feather in our cap, saying we can't go below 500, and then it's like, our next goal is to be above that. We're making money now. If we bet each one of these games, and that's over 52.3%. So it's like we can't be below that. Now we're like, holy cow, we are at 64-38 for a 62.7% win rate, which again is just
It's
crazy.
amazing. And again, we say it every week, and we've said it every week as we started building this up to where, we're like in the high 60s or mid 60s. And we're like, people need to understand how difficult this is to go against all these quote unquote experts that have all the algorithms and math and betting, you know, whatever. And we're just like doing our research maybe the day before
Yeah.
and are forced to pick 6 games opposite the experts, and we're crushing them. Like, this isn't even like lucky anymore. This is legit uh, legit statistics right here.
Yeah. And again, we don't go into how big this pool is, but it is significant. And still, with the amount of people that are in this is the second best overall record for the
Overall record, yes, overall
season.
record.
Second best,
Yeah.
which is again crazy. It's just crazy to me. So good on us. But
Yeah.
one more week.
One more week. And then the other thing we look at is the season total of all the qualifying games. We talked about how the games have to qualify on the slate. So if you were to just take all of our qualifying games that we put out there and go the expert suck side, the opposite of the experts, you would be 205, 169, and 3. And that took a huge bump from last week,
Yes.
which was like a 13 and 3 week or something like that. And that runs at 54.8%, almost 55%. So the experts are at 45%. The expert suck side on these qualifying games. And there's a lot. As you can do the math, there's over, 375 games on that qualified.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
55% of them, you should
Yeah.
take the expert suck side.
Right. Well, and you said it, like the win percentage of our side versus the experts last week. We actually did a horrible job of picking like the 3 games that the experts actually won. We picked
Yeah.
we
We could have took any of those other games.
easily. We could have easily. Well, we were so the Christmas Day games. If we would have taken all of those games, we would have been 3-0, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And we talked about a lot of them. 2 of
Yeah.
them for sure.
Yeah.
You were on the Chiefs, which I kind of vetoed. Bad on me.
Mhm.
And then we had the Vikings, and we were like, "Oh, third string Court
Third string.
Brosmer is not good." And he showed up and played, and it's just like, come on, guys, don't do
Yeah.
that to us.
Yeah, so we actually had really bad luck last week with the games that we picked. But um, the other thing that we look at, and I've already mentioned it, the highest percentage game on our slate that we pick of the 6. Each week we look at that just to see how we're doing against the highest percentage of experts. And we lost last week, so that puts us at 10-9. The worst we can do is 10-10.
500.
So 500, not bad again against some of these games are 80% mark, and so yeah, I'm good with that number as well.
Yeah. Well, then we do this. This is still pretty in question because
Yes.
I'm not off to a good start this week. But our head-to-head picks in the contest, me and Brad have a wager, and you can see again we're well below the expert suck side. So in our own personal picks, I'm 48, 53, and 1 for a 47.6% win percentage. Brad is 47 and 55 for 46.1%. So yeah,
So you're saying there's a chance.
there is a chance for you. I'm 0-2 right now. So
Yeah.
not
Well,
off to a great start.
No, and I think what I'm going to do, at least to start, because we have a couple of games going today. A couple of weeks ago, I said I'm going to pick the opposite of us. I'm going to go with the experts to maybe, give us a little good juju going into the games, and I'm going to start the week by picking opposite of us again,
Nice.
just
I
to
like it.
just to help us. And again, I will gladly pay you the $20
It's
that we
okay.
are betting if it gives us 3, 4, 5 wins.
Yeah, we may just have to have lunch. One of our super fans, Dane. No better way to start the new year than watching you guys beat the experts. Happy New Year, Dane, to you.
Happy New Year, Dave.
I know you have a lot going on. So the Grizzlies softball season's getting ready to start. So go Grizz! Little shout out to them.
That's
Um,
awesome. Well,
yeah,
should we get into
yes, we should.
what our potential picks are? And I say potential because it's only Thursday. And
Correct.
we haven't really done it this year. Last year we did it several times when we found out like a quarterback is hurt or a hurricane is moving in or something,
Opt
where
outs.
opt outs until Saturday morning when the thing locks down. We hold the right to be able to change some of these games. So we even talked about one that's going to happen this afternoon. I think it's 6 o'clock. Um, this one we were on the fence with. So we're like, let's put this as the sixth game, and then we might change it if we need to. So this might be our 6 games.
Yeah. So, like I said, I'm going to go in chronological order, not by the highest percent.
Okay.
Just so, like I said, so everybody that watches the show today can kind of sweat with us. This game starts at 2 o'clock Mountain Time. 69% of the experts are on Alabama. That gives us the Indiana Hoosiers -7 today. So the Hoosiers are giving 7. Um, yeah, yeah, I can see the experts like writing Alabama. They weren't, quote unquote, they weren't supposed to be in the playoff, and then they win
Yep.
last week in somewhat surprising fashion,
Yeah.
but not really.
An unlikely win with being down 17-0.
Yeah. So they're kind of maybe riding the hot hand, but the way Indiana has been playing this year, they really were only challenged like what one game where they
Yeah.
had to win on the last play of the game or whatever. Otherwise, they're just dominating other teams. Their coach is not one of those ones that's going to miss a beat. Like, say, for example, yesterday with Ohio State losing to Miami, that coach there, Ohio State, took over the play calls for the offensive coordinator position because they had their OC leave. I think he took the South Florida job, Heartline. And then Ryan Day took the offensive coordinator play calling duties, and he's terrible. He's awful. He's not a good coach. I don't know how he has a coaching job of the Ohio State University, but he's terrible. In big games, when he has to call the plays and make decisions, he is not a good game day decision. And people can come at me on that, but I'll give you example after example where he's not good. And yesterday was another example of it. They were not prepared.
I was watching the game last night with some Ohio State fans, and they will not be coming after you because it was kind of the same, ripping into the coach. So
Yeah.
you're not alone in feeling that way.
Yeah. So I feel good being on the Kurt Signetti side, the
Yeah.
head coach of Indiana. So
Well, and this is the kind of game that I love anyway, because sometimes we have to root for the teams that we don't like, and Alabama is one of those. My feelings towards Notre Dame, so it always hurts a little bit more when you have to root for them. But I don't know. The last couple of years watching Indiana has been fun. So this is a game. Of course, we're rooting for us to win,
yeah,
but I'm also rooting for Indiana. I think it'd
yeah,
be really cool to see them win it all.
we get to root for the good guys.
Yep. All right. So next game, this is the game that I was referring to tonight at 6 p.m. Mountain Time. So 65% of the experts are on Georgia Bulldogs playing Ole Miss, and Ole Miss is a 6.5 point underdog. This one, I don't know. I don't know if you were loving this game, and I just kept going back to it.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
the coaching staff is gone, but it didn't seem to matter when they beat the hell out of Tulane. And yeah, say what you will about Tulane shouldn't have been there anyway, but Ole Miss still came, and their offense is still potent. Um, Ole Miss went to Georgia back in October and they were up by 9 going into the fourth quarter in Georgia, and Georgia scored 17 unanswered points in the fourth quarter, and Ole Miss lost by 8. But it's like there's a recipe here, and it's tough to beat teams 2 and 3 times in a year. So this is on a neutral site. It's a touchdown. Ole Miss's offense is still, really good. So I don't know. This one I'm still on the fence with. And if we're going to change any of the games out, it would be this one. But, let's just see what Indiana does first. And we might just ride with this one.
Yeah. And like you said, their offense is potent. Ole Miss. Trinidad Chambliss is their quarterback. He's not opting out. He's playing. It's a playoff game. And this could be a shootout because Georgia's defense has played better. But again, this is I've said it before, and then all of a sudden these offenses crap out. But this is a good Ole Miss offense. So I could easily see like the over. The over is not a bad play in this game. If you don't want to take either side, I would probably be on the over. But there is a path. There is a way for Ole Miss to stay within the 6.5. Maybe Georgia wins on a last second field goal, something like that. We're good with that. And we've said that before. They can win, just don't win by 7.
Yeah. And we just saw it last night. Miami was a 9.5-point underdog, and they won outright against who people thought were going to win the national championship. And now Ohio State is done. So again, Georgia's not a world beater. Like, they're good, but they can be beaten, and they have been beaten. And Ole Miss again is one of those teams that
should have beat them. And
they should have beaten.
We've always said it's hard to beat the same team twice. We've seen examples of that this year. So, Okay, so let's talk about this one a little bit. 65%, and we're laughing because we'll tell you in a minute. We're not laughing because we had to pick this. We're laughing for a different reason. 65% of the experts are on the University of Cincinnati, the Bearcats, against Navy in whatever bowl game it is. Navy is a 7.5-point favorite, so Navy minus 7.5. This is tomorrow. So the reason we're laughing is when we woke up yesterday and we were looking at yesterday's games because they were on the slate. Brad and I, Tuesday night, were on Iowa plus 5.5. And then we woke up and that line changed in the contest to Iowa plus 3.5. So we've talked about closing line value before. So that was a -2 in closing line value to us. And we were both like, oh man, why did this line change so much overnight? And then we're like, okay, maybe we should hop off of Iowa and then hop on to Navy. And then Iowa goes out and just, the new thing is that belt, put the belt to the ass.
Yeah.
They did to Vanderbilt. And we're just like, oh no. Our initial
would have been
feeling.
1-0. As we've said, our rationale was what we believe was sound. Sometimes you make the right choice, sometimes you don't. We made the wrong choice in this particular case. So this game feels like if Navy doesn't cover, this is going to be the dagger in the heart. Like this will be what we go back to when we're recapping next week. If we don't get in the top 8, it'll be this game and the Iowa game where we're like, if only we just would have stuck with it.
Right.
So this one we really, really want and need Navy to cover because.
But that being said, there's a few reasons why we did like this. That being said, and the reason we like the Navy side. So first and foremost, University of Cincinnati's starting quarterback, has opted out. He's in the portal, along with, I think, an offensive lineman, a couple linebackers. Like Cincinnati has a few players that are starters in the portal. Navy has none. They have a great quarterback with Horvath. We've seen Horvath do really good things this year. Yeah. They're a dynamic option team, but not only do they run it, the option, but they do have the ability to throw
Well,
when needed.
yeah,
So
and all of Cincy's cornerbacks or all of their defensive backfield is out. Like they're in the portal as well. So it's like you've got key players on the offense that are out, and all of the secondary for Cincy has opted out as well. It's like, yeah, we've already seen some weird things happen, like with ASU, same thing. They end up, winning. Cover. They didn't win, but covered. But yeah, this one felt really, really good with all of
yeah,
these people opting out of
and
Cincy.
we like service academies in bowl
Yep.
games. They get up for it. They want to be there. Cincinnati may not have all the players that want to be there. So
Right.
let's go midshipmen.
Yes. Okay, this one's an interesting one. So this is 65% of the experts are on the Vikings. So going to pro games now, on the Vikings at home versus Green Bay, and Green Bay is a 6.5 point underdog in this one. I actually have not read. I was meaning to look at that this morning, but if Love is playing, I'm guessing he's not, and that's why the 6.5 point is where it is for the Packers. But again, we always talk about this, and this is a divisional rivalry game. I don't care if it's meaningless for one and another. It's still like Vikings and Packers fans and teams hate each other. So Green Bay wants nothing more than to go into Minnesota and beat them. And honestly, Minnesota, you never know what team you're going to get. One week they look like they could win the Super Bowl, and then the next week you're like, who is this? They are awful. Most of the NFL teams this year have fallen into that category, but I don't know. 6.5 just seems like so many points for a division rivalry game.
Yeah, and Malik Willis isn't terrible.
No,
He can make plays both running and throwing. Jordan Love is ruled out as far as today.
yeah,
He's in the concussion protocol, so he hasn't been cleared. So Malik Willis again, like we just said, it's not like he's terrible. It's not like he hasn't played in games. He'll have a full week of practice with the starters. So yeah, I mean, I like the fact that we're getting points in a rivalry game, like you said, because
yeah,
this could be a field goal game.
yes, absolutely.
I'm going to let you take this one too, Brad, just because the quarterback of the Cleveland Browns is someone.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So 70% of the experts are on the Bengals playing against the Cleveland Browns, and Cleveland is a 7.5 point underdog, as they should be going into Cincy, but very similar to what we just talked about. Division rivalry game. As we all know who watch the NFL, Cincy's defense is horrific. And as you mentioned, Shedeur Sanders, say what you will about him. I actually, I'm a buff. I loved watching him play at CU. What I hated about watching him play is just that cocky freaking attitude. And, you throw a 2 yard pass and someone else runs at 70 yards and you're throwing your arm up there like, you're legendary. Like, give me a break. Like, just, I don't know. He can be really annoying. But all of that being said, doesn't matter what I feel about his attitude or his cockiness. He's playing pretty damn well. And against a really crappy, defense, I think Shedeur can keep this game close. And Cleveland's defense is really, really good.
yeah. I
We
was just
know
going to say,
Cincy's offense is also really, really good, but Cleveland has been keeping these games close.
well, and the thing is Cleveland's pass rush is elite. So, and I don't know how good Cincy's offensive line is. Traditionally, they're not. Like Burrow is just typically running for his life.
Yep.
And with Cleveland's defensive line, like you said, all we need to do is have them keep it close. If Cleveland's defense can keep Cincinnati kind of bottled up for the most part, they get that just crazy pass rush going. This could be within that number. And
Yeah.
7.5 in the NFL, we get the hook, which is great. We love
Yes.
the hook. 7.5 is over that key number of 7 in the NFL. So, yeah, I mean, again, there's a path. There's a path for
Yeah.
Cleveland to be within this number.
And the scary part is I feel better about this game than I do the Green Bay game.
I
So
agree. I agree because of Cleveland's defense. Cleveland's
right.
defense is really good, really
Yeah.
good.
And someone on that Cleveland defense is going for a record. So he's
Yes.
gonna be Miles Garrett is gonna be a
He,
madman going after Burrow.
yeah, he wants that last sack. Okay, so the final and sixth game of the weekend is 65% of the experts are on the Baltimore Ravens at the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Steelers are a home underdog. Steelers are getting 3.5 points at home. I think this was cooked into our pick of them. We love home underdogs in
Yeah.
the NFL. This is an AFC North rivalry game. They're still, I think both teams are still playing to
Yes.
win the AFC North.
If Baltimore wins, they win the North, and same with Pittsburgh. So it's like
Yeah.
this is winner take all, and go to the playoffs. The other one does not.
Yeah. So hopefully, I haven't heard. I could always Google it, but hopefully TJ Watt is back and playing on Pittsburgh's defensive line. That would be helpful in kind of putting that pressure and bottling up Lamar for the Ravens. Two
Yeah.
good defenses. Hopefully it's cold in Pittsburgh. That would be great because I think this is the Sunday night game.
I would think that they would want this game on Sunday night. Yes.
So it could be pretty cold in Pittsburgh. I haven't checked the
Yeah.
weather, but cold always kind of keeps games close. I think Aaron Rodgers can make enough plays to keep this close. So that 3.5, again, through that key number of 3, through that key betting number of 3, we do get the hook on this one too. So, I mean, Baltimore could kick a field goal at the end to
Yeah.
win by 3, and we would be good.
Do it. Yeah. And TJ Watt is playing. It says Mike Tomlin is optimistic that he's playing.
Nice.
And Lamar looks like he's playing as well. So should be a great game. But yeah, just that home underdog 3, and with that hook, that kind of sold me. These games typically are pretty close. So, and Baltimore's defense, just like Cincy, Baltimore's defense has been pretty suspect this season. So hopefully Aaron Rodgers can keep this one close. Give us a shot.
Yeah, yeah. That's all we need. Last game, we'll be kind of sweating it here Sunday night to see if this gives us like a 4-2, 5-1. 3-3 would we always ask for a 3-3. So
Yeah. Well,
let's recap this and see
all right. So I will.
if we have any other inclinations.
So we have a couple of games going today, potentially a couple games. We're picking this one though for sure. The 69% of the experts are on Alabama playing Indiana. Indiana is a 7-point favorite. Second game today, we have 65% of the experts are on the Georgia Bulldogs. We are taking the Ole Miss side. Ole Miss is a 6.5-point underdog. We have a Friday game as well. 65% of the experts are on the Cincy Bearcats playing against Navy. The Midshipmen are a 7.5-point favorite with a lot of opt-outs on Cincy side. So hopefully, again, Navy just rolls. And then we move to the NFL side. So 65% of the experts are on the Vikings at home playing against Green Bay. The Packers are a 6.5-point underdog. Without Jordan Love at quarterback. I'm assuming that's why that number is where it is. Our biggest percentage game of the week is 70% of the experts are on the Bengals at home versus the Browns. Cleveland is a 7.5-point underdog, so we need Shedeur to be legendary on Sunday and keep this thing close. And then finally, we have 65% of the experts are on the Ravens going to Pittsburgh, and Pittsburgh is a 3.5-point underdog. So we have 3 rivalry games, division rivalry games going in the NFL, and we just hope that these all play out true to form, and they're all one score under 3 point. That would be fantastic. But oh my gosh, the nerves are already kicking in.
The
Um,
sweat is real. The sweat
yeah,
is
real.
real.
And so there's two key factors. Even if we crap the bed this week and have our worst week ever of the season, there's two key factors that are still helping us. The people that are behind us, most of them need to have 3, 4, 5 wins in order to catch us. So that's the good news. And we do have a little wiggle room. It's not like we're sitting in eighth place and we're like one game from being kicked out. Like people have to come and catch us, which is good. The other factor is the tiebreakers go to the overall record for the season. We're going to win 99% of those because of our consistency and having the second best record in all of the pool right now. The only one that is clearly beating us is the team that's in first place, or the profile that's in first place, and going to be really difficult for us to catch them. But that's fine. People need to catch us, and if we tie, we are going to win those tiebreakers. So that's the two factors that are in our favor right now.
Somebody said to me yesterday about the tiebreakers, but I know you and I have kind of both checked this. So I'm double checking again. Somebody said that they thought it was different than what we were saying as far as tiebreakers going to the overall, but I don't think that's right. So
I was pretty. I dug into it just to see what it said, just because like we have been tied for like second place or third place or whatever, and I'm like, how is that determined?
right.
So
Yeah, if there is a tiebreaker, we will take the tiebreaker's total wins.
Yep.
It's right there in the rules.
Which is,
So
again, total wins is the overall for the season.
Yeah.
Adding in the 3 that were dropped.
Yeah. So we'll make sure there's no shenanigans on the tiebreakers.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So
And
yeah, awesome.
so, well, good luck to us. And for those of you that are listening, I don't know if you're rooting for us or against us, but if you're rooting for us, put it out there in the universe for us to hold on to the top 8 for sure.
Watch every game, and help us win at least 4 of the 6. Would be amazing. It would be just kind of the cherry on top of this season. There is a path to a 6-0. I think that would be incredible. That would just be the universe saying, "Hey, you guys are doing the right thing."
Right. Well, yeah, 6-0. That's just crazy talk. I'm not. Every week it's like, sure, that's the goal. Of course, we want that. This week, I'm so worried about what everyone else is doing. Clearly, what we're doing as well, but 6-0 to me is like, yeah, that would be the cherry on top, because right now my goal is, just to get that 4th win. So again, fingers crossed. It's out of our control at this point.
It starts with the Hoosiers.
It does.
Hoosiers. We have that family connection, so I know she's going to be excited and watching our little cousin. So,
Well,
let's go.
Yeah. So good luck to us. Good luck to everyone else who's, in the last week of the pool as well, and whatever other sports betting you're doing this weekend. We will have one wrap-up show next week.
Yep.
To talk about our misery or celebration.
Yeah, our celebrating our where we finish in the pool. Brad and I will recap the season.
Yep.
And Brandon and I will continue with off season 2, I guess we're calling it, because the calendar has changed over.
Yep.
The PGA Tour is going to get started on the 15th. I'll have a little announcement on that coming up. I'll probably do the show for that tomorrow if anybody's interested, but I just haven't figured out the time.
Well, and just
so focused on football.
Well, and maybe this is good for me, but I am leaving early tomorrow morning to take my daughter for her 18th birthday to New York City. So we have a jam-packed weekend.
Nice.
Of course, I'll be looking at my phone, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to watch any of these games. And as I said, It might be
Put it
good.
out there. Put it out there. Don't even pay attention to it. Enjoy. Yeah, that's trusting the universe, right? Because you're doing the right thing. You're having fun with your daughter. Special time. The universe loves that.
Well, good. Hopefully that father daughter good,
Good vibe. Good
good
vibe. Good.
out there, and if we have a heartbreaking weekend, at least I can be focused on the important things in life. Um,
Yes.
and at the end of the day, like this, of course, we talk about being anxious about it and nervous about it, but you know what? Life goes on,
It's
and
fun.
my trip to New York with my daughter is the memories. Like I'll remember that way before I'm going to remember how we ended week 18. This
Yeah.
week.
Exactly. That's awesome. Okay, cool. I didn't know you're doing that, but that's amazing. So enjoy that. If I don't, well, I'll talk to you, but
Yes,
enjoy that. That's very cool and a good thing.
awesome. Well,
All right,
yeah,
everybody.
yeah, just good luck to everyone, and especially to us. So we'll be
Yep,
chatting this
follow
week.
along. Yep, follow along. Come back to us for next week and get the review. And until then, good luck, everybody, and we will catch you next week.
We'll see you soon.